Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good morning, I'm Connor James. Today is Sunday, August 11th. Well, we have learned that all former Black Jewel coal miners now have access to their 401k funds. In a release the company posted yesterday, officials say the plan is terminated, which means miners who were locked out before can either get that money now or roll it over to an individual retirement account of their choosing. We have more information about this story on our website. And officials have asked a bankruptcy court to halt the transportation of Black Jewel coal in Virginia until the company's employees are paid. The Department of Labor filed a request to prevent around 37,000 tons of coal from being transported. It's worth at least $2.5 million. This comes after the department asked the court to halt the transfer of coal from Black Jewel mines in Harlan County last week. And people participating in an ATV ride raised money for Black Jewel miners yesterday in Knott County. Many riders are coal miners, retired coal miners, or people just wanting to lend a hand. WYMT's Marianne Fletcher went along for the ride to learn more.
Fastening seat belts, unloading trailers, and raising money.
We stand up with one another and we help take care of one another.
92nd District State Representative John Blanton says for more than 1 month, Black Jewel coal miners have not been paid for the work they have already done.
The community is coming together to ensure that we raise money to help these miners through this difficult time.
A fundraising ATV ride to help these men at the Knott County Mine-Made Adventure Park.
I work for Revelation. We were working 7 days a week, and one Saturday night we came in and it was over.
Judge Executive Jeff Dobson says he understands the struggle.
It was heartbreaking for me at the time and several other men, and I couldn't imagine what these guys are going through.
With no money and bills piling up.
Electric bills, phone bills, they still keep coming.
Many of these men have children.
School's starting back. Kids need clothes, kids need school supplies.
All the money raised will go to the families affected.
I don't know whether we'll take in $25 or $25,000 here today, but whatever's taken in, we're going to give to these guys.
Coming together to help. In Knott County, Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
Organizers say they hope to see miners repaid the money they have earned soon. Well, a local branch of the United Food and Commercial Workers provided food, clothing, and school supplies for Black Jewel miners yesterday. The UFCW set up at the Bell-Whitley County CAA parking lot. The event was open to all Black Jewel miners in need. And a Kentucky mine is expected to stop producing coal within 1 week. Alliance Resource Partners LP said Friday that the Dotiki mine in Webster County will halt production starting August 16th. The company says it wants to focus production at lower-cost Illinois basin mines. The mine closing in Webster County originally opened in 1969. Webster County's Judge Executive Steve Henry says the county has already made budget changes in anticipation of the mine closing, and employees will have an option to keep working. The mine employs about 200 people. Now let's check in with meteorologist Kelly McShane for a look at your forecast this morning. And Kelly, happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, Connor, and happy Sunday to all you folks watching. We're looking at a little bit of a warm start this morning. Those temperatures in the 60s, lower 60s for the Cumberland Valley region, and then a little bit warmer as you head into Perry County and Jackson as well. And then into the Big Sandy, we're looking at those lower 60s as well. So those clear skies overnight made those temperatures get into the lower 60s. Now your satellite and radar not really showing too much to talk about. We had a pretty clear overnight. We saw plenty of stars as well, but we aren't looking at any rain chances as we head into later on. And because of those clear skies, we are seeing just a little bit of fog. However, those conditions are a lot better than they were the last few mornings. So especially into the Cumberland Valley region, into Harlan County and Bell County as well, even into Whitley County, we're looking at reduced visibility. So just be very careful on the roadways this morning, and I will have that extended forecast here for you coming up in just a little bit. Connor?
All right, thank you, Kelly. Well, police say they responded to a crash involving a motorcycle and a car on Friday night. The crash happened on Highway 63 in La Follette. Officials say the motorcyclist was airlifted to a hospital with serious injuries. His or her identity has not been released yet. Police say they're still investigating the crash. And we have an update to pass along to you this morning about a possible drowning we told you about yesterday. Officials in Campbell County, Tennessee found 24-year-old Kevin Byersdorfer's body after he reportedly jumped into Norris Lake. Side scan sonar helped find his body Saturday afternoon. He was from Cincinnati, Ohio. Officials say it happened near Cedar Creek Bridge. The man had been missing for nearly 24 hours. Well, yesterday a funeral was held for a longtime Floyd County barber. Gary Wright died last Friday after health complications. He was known for cutting hair for 59 years, playing the piano and attending church regularly. Visitation for Wright was Friday. His funeral was at the Irene Cole First Baptist Church yesterday afternoon. Gary Wright was 85. An accused sex trafficker, Jeffrey Epstein, died Saturday morning at his own hands. The suicide took place in a Manhattan jail where, according to a law enforcement source, the 66-year-old appears to have hung himself as he was awaiting trial. Federal prosecutors charged him last month with trafficking girls as young as 14 years old. His body was taken to the office of New York City's chief medical examiner. And a big rally in El Paso yesterday as Latino leaders demand the Texas legislature take up a ban on assault weapons. The city continues to struggle with horrific shootings that killed 22 people. New documents show the attack was racially motivated. The nation's oldest Hispanic civil rights group organized this march through the streets of El Paso yesterday.
He might have shot me, but he did not take my pride. He did not take anything from me. I'm fighting. And that's what I want everybody here to do.
24 people were injured in the attack. At last check, about half of them remain hospitalized. The city is planning a community-wide service for the victims on Wednesday. And Democratic presidential hopefuls campaigning in Iowa attended a gun safety forum, which was quickly organized following mass shootings in El Paso and Dayton, Ohio last weekend. Natalie Brand is in Iowa and has more details.
Presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke marched in a unity rally in El Paso, calling for gun reform just 1 week after a mass shooting in his hometown left 22 people dead. Enough is enough! More than 1,100 miles away, more than a dozen other presidential hopefuls called for changes to the nation's gun policies in the wake of last weekend's shootings in El Paso and Dayton, Ohio.
The Second Amendment says that we can limit who can own a weapon. They can limit what kind of gun you can own.
Democratic candidates are largely united on the need for universal background checks and an assault weapons ban.
AKs, ARs, they have no business in our neighborhoods in peacetime in the United States of America. They are for war zones.
Andrew Yang broke down in tears thinking about his two sons while listening to a woman describe her own daughter being shot and killed.
I was imagining it was one of them that got shot and the other saw it.
A recent CBS News Battleground Tracker poll finds more than half of Iowa Democrats say they must hear a candidate's position on gun control policy before deciding who they will support.
Background checks, no mental illness. I mean, come on. That's not a big ask at all. And I completely support that.
I'd like to keep my shotgun. On the other hand, the AK-47s and the AR-15s, I don't think it's a place for them in America.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says lawmakers will consider new gun control laws when Congress reconvenes in September. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Des Moines.
President Trump says he wants Congress to pass background checks. And a new recovery center in Hazard had its open house this weekend. The Rebound Center is a place for people who are battling addiction to come in and receive help from others who have been in their shoes. They have several counselors on site as well as several support specialists.
We're from a national program, which the grant comes through ARCO, and it's to provide people who are in early recovery or maybe suffering from a drug addiction or substance abuse issue. It's for them to come and find like a safe haven or a safe place to where they can get away from that kind of lifestyle.
The Rebound Center officially opens its doors on Monday. And it wasn't your average church service at the Cutchin Bible Church. Volunteers from several different states came together to give away more than 600 pairs of shoes to local children in need. Along with the free shoe giveaway, they had food, school supplies, church service, and much more.
Shoes are a big a cost to families, and right now times are hard, and with the layoffs going on and the bankruptcies, and just times are hard, and it's trying to help out the people we can help out.
Watson says he was very grateful for this year's turnout and hopes to have a similar event later this year. Well, coming up on Mountain News this morning, yesterday was the start of the Good Old Boys Fest at the Shenandoah Speedway in Virginia. We have highlights from that event. And coming up in sports, we are just 13 days away from the high school football season. We will continue our countdown to kickoff.
We have another day of sunshine on the way, but how long will our sunny streak last? I'll have those details coming up next.